Once upon a time, there lived two friends named Oge and Ola who got married to two brothers. Oge was extremely beautiful and kind, and her husband Chike was a very rich and industrious man. He owned the biggest cocoa plantation in the village and was well known by the villagers. Ola's husband died a few years after they got married, leaving her alone with their son, who was only 1 year old at the time. When Ola's husband died, Oge pleaded with her husband to invite Ola and her son to come live in their home. Oge's husband was against the idea at first, but Oge convinced her husband that inviting Ola to live with them would help Ola heal faster from her grief. Her husband agreed, and Oge brought Ola and her son to come live in her home. Although Ola had a son before her husband died, her friend Oge was still yet to conceive and have a child of her own. Oge and her husband were deeply in love with each other. They spent so much time together, and Oge's husband always showered his wife with expensive gifts. Most days, Oge's husband would buy gifts for Ola and her son, as he made it his duty to look after his late brother's wife and son. One day, Oge returned home from the market when her friend Ola approached her to tell her that she had something important to discuss with her. Ola told Oge that if she did not have a child soon, another woman might take over her home. She advised Oge to accompany her to see a very powerful woman who had the power to give her children. Oge listened to her friend Ola and decided to pay the powerful woman a visit. When they got to the powerful woman's hut, the woman gave Oge a substance to drink, saying that the substance would open up her womb to receive children. Oge drank the substance and was overjoyed at the thought of finally having a child. They returned home and Oge's joy knew no bounds. She thanked her friend Ola for always looking out for her, and soon Oge noticed that she was pregnant. Oge's husband was so excited to hear the news, and he bought so many gifts to celebrate his beautiful wife. As the months went by, Oge's stomach began to grow. Her friend Ola took good care of her and her needs. 9 months came, and Oge and her husband anticipated the arrival of their baby. One morning, Oge's husband was about leaving their home for his cocoa plantation when a young man ran to his house to inform him that there was a fire in his plantation. Oge's husband ran as fast as his legs could carry him, but by the time he arrived at the plantation, the fire had engulfed the whole plantation. Oge's husband returned home devastated and told his wife what had happened. The news triggered his wife's labor as she began to scream that the baby was coming. There was confusion in the air, and before anyone knew what was going on, Oge gave birth to a very big yam. Her husband's eyes shone in fear as he could not believe what he was seeing. Her friend Ola screamed on seeing the yam, and soon the news spread around the village that Oge gave birth to a tuber of yam. For days, Oge locked herself up in her room and refused to speak to anyone. Her husband was terrified of her, and this began to take a toll on their marriage. One morning, Ola suggested to Oge's husband that they should go visit a very powerful woman who had the power to tell him what all this meant. Oge's husband was desperate, so he agreed to follow Ola to see the powerful woman. When they arrived at the powerful woman's hut, the woman told him that his wife Oge was behind all his misfortune. The woman also said that Oge was a witch who ate her unborn baby and replaced the baby with a yam. The woman told Oge's husband that his wife was not innocent and that he should ignore her pretense. Oge's husband returned home and began to accuse his wife of being a witch. He told Oge all the powerful woman had told him and pushed her out of his house, calling her a witch. Oge had never seen her husband so furious in her life. She tried to speak with him, but he gave her no room to explain herself. Oge was so devastated and didn't know what to do. She pleaded with her friend Ola to speak to her husband on her behalf, and Ola promised to talk to him as she advised Oge to return to her parents' house and wait till she comes to get her. Oge listened to her friend and returned to her parents' house. For weeks, Oge waited for her friend Ola to come get her, but Ola never showed up. After waiting for a few weeks, Oge decided to return back to her husband's house. She believed her husband would be less angry at this time and more willing to listen to her. But by the time she got to her husband's house, Oge noticed that her husband was already married to her friend Ola. Oge was devastated as she could not believe that her friend Ola, who she trusted with her life, would betray her in the worst way possible. Oge tried to speak to her husband Chike, but he ignored her and called her a witch. This broke Oge's heart as she could not believe the hatred she was seeing in her husband's eyes. She confronted her friend Ola, who looked into her eyes and called her a cursed witch. Oge, heartbroken and devastated, returned back to her parents' home. Her mother, on hearing all that had happened, comforted her daughter and assured her that everything would be alright. Not long afterwards, Oge overheard that Ola was pregnant for her husband, and this news tore her to bits. She stopped eating and made weeping her companion. Oge regretted the day she invited Ola into her home and wished she listened to her husband, who was against the idea initially. Oge spent her days thinking and soon became a shadow of herself. Her mother, on seeing how her daughter was suffering, sent Oge to go live with her grandmother in the neighboring village. Oge's grandmother was extremely old and frail. She was blind, but despite being blind, she could see better than people with eyes. Oge's grandmother had the gift of a seer, a gift she possessed all her life, but kept a secret from everyone around her except her daughter, Oge's mother. When Oge arrived at her grandmother's hut, her grandmother told her that she let the devil into her home because of her kind heart. Her grandmother then began to tell Oge all that her friend Ola did to her. She revealed that Ola purposely took Oge to the powerful woman to ruin her life. She revealed that the drink the powerful woman gave to Oge to drink on that day was a false pregnancy charm which made her give birth to a yam. Oge's grandmother also told Oge that her friend Ola was the one behind the fire incident at Oge's husband's plantation. She revealed that Ola also tried to kill Oge's husband a long time ago, but ended up killing her own husband. What had happened was that Ola poisoned a drink that she planned on giving to Oge's husband Chike. She mistakenly left the drink on the table for a few minutes to go hide the poison, but by the time she returned, her own husband had already taken the drink. Ola's husband died of the poison, and Ola blamed Oge and her husband, Chike, for the death of her own husband. She vouched in her heart to make sure that they both suffered, and Oge, without knowing this, invited Ola into her home with open arms. When Oge heard this, she asked her grandmother what she could do, and her grandmother told her to focus on healing as the truth cannot be hidden forever and that whatever had a beginning had an end. Oge's grandmother then gave her a very powerful necklace which she said had the power to neutralize all forms of charms that anyone would send her way. Oge then thanked her grandmother and went in to prepare some food for her. By the time she was done preparing her grandmother's meal, she saw her husband inside their hut. He went down on his knees and began to beg Oge for her forgiveness. Oge's husband narrated how he was charmed by Ola and unaware of what he had been doing. Oge asked where Ola was, and her husband revealed that Ola ran mad earlier that day. What Oge did not know was that immediately she wore the necklace her grandmother gave her, Ola sent a charm to her which was meant to make her mad. The necklace then neutralized the charm and sent the madness back to Ola, who ran mad in front of her husband's eyes. Chike ran after Ola, confused, and when he caught up with her, she began to confess all that she had done. By that time, the villagers had gathered and Ola told everyone how her jealousy led her to destroy Oge's life and marriage. She told the villagers all she did to Oge and how she visited a powerful woman who prepared a charm that would make Oge's husband do her bidding. Then, she commanded Oge's husband to chase his wife away and marry her, and he did so not knowing what he was doing. Immediately she said this, Oge's husband returned back to his senses as the charm left his body. Ola then revealed that she was not pregnant but claimed to be to hurt Oge. Oge, on hearing all this from her husband, began to cry as she could not believe that her friend, who she trusted with her life, could turn out to be her worst enemy. Oge, filled with both love and pain, forgave her husband and accepted him back into her life. By the time they returned back to their village, Ola had already run off into the forest and no one was able to find her. Oge searched the forest severally but couldn't find Ola. Then she decided to look after Ola's son as her own, showering him with so much love and care. Not long afterwards, Oge got pregnant